Hi, guys. Welcome to the Even So podcast. It's Lola.
And it's Jax.
Thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys are doing well. We are excited for our third episode. We appreciate the views. Please remember to subscribe to our channel.
Yep. So today we'll be reviewing the new Amy Schumer, Scheimer. How you say her name? Scheimer.
Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Her new movie, Kinda Pregnant, on Netflix. I think it's number one trending right now. It just got released. So we're gonna see how you guys like it. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It was funny, and yeah. So Lola, what you think about the movie?
You guys, and we need to talk about this because I was excited for another Amy Schumer movie because I'm a huge fan. I honestly love all the movies that she's created or she's in. She's hilarious to me. I'm a huge fan. So I was excited to see that she had a new movie out on Netflix. I told Jax, we have to watch it. And I don't think Jax was expecting it to be as funny as it was, you guys. It was hilarious. A well deserved number one spot. We were laughing so hard. I mean, come on, Jax. Tell the people that you did not expect it to be that funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I think for Amy Schumer, she always does well. I'm not a big fan of her stand-up. She has a couple of good stand-ups, but as a comedian, especially as a comedic actor, I think that she's one of the top. Yeah, she's one of the top actresses in the game when it comes to comedy roles and comedic acting. Um, as far as the movie goes, I give it a. If I had to rate it comedy-wise, I would say I give it a 7.
Oh, you
7.5. I
guys.
give it a 7.5. I give it a 7.5. We just reviewed One of Them Days, and it was a totally different movie. But when it comes to laughing, I believe I laughed the same amount. So, which is good because I'm not a female. You gotta remember, I'm not a girl. I'll never experience pregnancy. I've never wanted to, you know, endure that. And the movie is about Amy Schumer. Her name in the movie is
Lainey
Lainey
Newton.
Newton. So Lainey Newton, Amy Schumer, she has a childhood friend, Jillian Bell. She plays Kate, and Jillian Bell is also a funny comedic actress. She's definitely funny. She's like a more like sketchy type of in your face Adam Sandler type of funny. So both of them together, they did a great job. So Amy Schumer plays Lainey Newton, and Lainey Newton is Kate's best friend. They both grew up together, childhood friends. I think they met at the age of 6. Both of their parents both of their moms were deceased, so they always made a pact when they were young to be best friends and get pregnant together and do everything together. So this movie is about pregnancy. Kate, she gets pregnant. Amy Schumer doesn't get pregnant. Lady Newton, she doesn't get pregnant, but in the whole movie, she's disguised as a pregnant woman, and it's kind of silly how it all encountered. But as a man, it was hilarious. But I don't think I got the same amount of laughs as Lola did because she can relate more as a female. What do you think?
You guys, I'm giving it a 10, you guys. And I loved One of Them Days. You saw my review for One of Them Days, but I found myself laughing more in this movie. And here's why I'm going to tell you. First of all, full disclosure, yes, maybe because I'm a woman, maybe I could relate more. But, a big but, I haven't experienced pregnancy yet, but I have through like sister in laws, friends, stuff like that. And so all the stories tend to be the same and they're hilarious. But you guys, one of my favorite people is in the movie. Movie is Brienne Howie, and she plays Megan Taylor. You guys know she's in Ginny and Georgia, a huge Netflix show. So she did amazing. She plays one of Amy's pregnant friends. They meet at a free yoga class that's being held in Brooklyn, a prenatal yoga class. But I give it a 10, and here's why. Amy Schumer is a clown. There was multiple scenes in the movie that she was like dramatically falling or throwing herself on the ground. Like, how do I explain that, Jax? Like, it's like stunts, right?
Yeah, I
The
mean,
stunt work was
yeah.
hilarious, guys.
She had multiple scenes where she's acting as if she was pregnant, so she has like a fake belly.
Belly, yeah.
And there's scenes where she like sets herself on fire and she jumps on directly on her belly. Everybody sees her. She just gets up and acts like, okay, I'm
She's
good, I'm all
okay.
right. And then another scene when her friend's son runs into her, stabs her in the belly with a knife when she walks in. Then the kid's like, "I got you," and then she takes the knife out and she's just like, "Okay, go ahead and play." Like there's different things and different little comedic little scenes where it's clearly like she's not pregnant, but she does something silly, falls on her belly, rolls over or something silly like that, and then it's like, oh, like laughing.
Guys, Amy Schumer is the queen of stunts because even in the beginning of the movie, when she's on FaceTime with her best friend in the movie that's playing Kate, Jillian Bell, which Jillian Bell, another hilarious person. Like I said, Brienne Howie's in it. She's hilarious. I love her too. But the very first 10 minutes of the movie had Jax cracking up and me. She's on FaceTime and she's opening up the bed. And what happens, Jax?
Oh yeah, she
The
just
bed snaps her and she
like
flies across.
pull out sofa bed.
Pull out sofa bed. And here's why I'm laughing because that's not very far fetched. If you guys, I'm a very clumsy person. Fun fact, I hit myself a lot, run into things. I don't know why. It's always been that way. So when Amy Schumer, she's like this goofy teacher. She plays a teacher in the movie who's very clumsy. So throughout the whole movie, the stunts are her clumsiness. And so I can relate to it because I'm a clumsy person. And because I always think, oh my God, if there was a camera in front of me and somebody like saw this happen to me, they would crack up. So she's almost like putting the clumsiness in the movie, but in a more dramatic way that the stunts are hilarious, right, Jax? Like just
Yeah,
repeatedly throughout the movie. And she's the queen of that because remember that other movie that she was in where, and I'm going to pull up that name, where she gets a concussion from riding a cycling bike. Remember I had you watch that movie? And she had to like, she had a concussion, an injury from riding a cycling class, and she thought she was skinny, but really she was fat the whole time. And the movie was showing her like as like if her perspective changed on her weight. The point is she's the queen of stunts, and that really made the movie.
oh yeah. I think you mean the movie I Feel Pretty.
I feel pretty. You remember
Yeah,
that
I
one?
Feel Pretty, and then also it was hilarious. Her and Snatch, like the movie where she goes on vacation with her mom,
Oh
and
yeah,
they think they're getting kidnapped and all. Yeah, so
she's
Amy
the queen of
Schumer,
stunts, right, Jax? Like think about it.
yeah, I guess so.
Yes,
Just
funny.
dramatic, intense little, yeah, little action. I guess you can call it comedic scenes. Yeah,
She's
where
good at
she
that.
falling on her face or she's like, getting in trouble or something like that.
She's falling off something, you guys, or she's running into something. Like even when she was hiding in that big like thing of animals at the toy store in the movie that we were watching, kind of pregnant, the thing ends up like breaking and falling open. Hilarious. Like
Yeah. So
just constant scenes.
what do you think like the storyline? If you had to rate the storyline, did you think it was too silly? It was serious, too funny, too goofy? Like how do you feel about the storyline in the movie?
So, guys, the storyline was basically a woman, like he said, had a best friend. They had this idea that they were going to go life through life together. One of the things Jax forgot to mention that's very important is that she had a boyfriend. They were in a relationship for 4 years. He's played by Damon Wayans Jr. His
Damon
name,
Wayans,
yep, he's hilarious.
the
His name
son
is Dave.
of Damon Wayans.
Yeah, his name is Dave in the movie. And him and Amy Schumer are in a relationship for 4 years. And the very beginning of the movie, it's focused on her thinking he's going to propose to her because they've been dating for 4 years. And it ends up being that he's not going to propose to her. He wants to have a three-way. He's not a serious guy, doesn't want to settle down or have kids. And so they break up. And so that's what led into the plot of the story of her feeling like I'm in my 40s, I'm not married, I don't have a family, I'm not even pregnant, and my best friend is married, she's pregnant, she's like moving on with starting a family, and me, I don't have anything. And so the theme is she's alone because, her mom passed away and whatever. So that's how they play it off. Like she feels left out, that her best friend is kind of moving forward, making a family, and she's not. Like she thought she
Yeah,
wasted four
and she goes
years.
into what is called prenatal yoga class where she pretends she's pregnant
Yeah,
because
she
she
goes
wants
to
to get
pre.
attention, and then
Mm-hmm.
she meets her friend, her best friend in the movie.
Well, one of her best
Well, one
friends,
of her new
Megan.
best friend, yeah,
Yeah,
Megan,
Megan Taylor, which is played by Brienne
which is
Howie.
why she's pretending to be pregnant the whole movie because she meets her at the prenatal yoga class where she's pretending to be pregnant, and then they actually hit it off as friends.
They
Megan,
click.
yeah,
Yeah.
Megan, yeah, she also falls in the yoga class,
Prenatal guys.
and
Oh
then
my god.
Megan sticks up for her. Megan storms out, and then Lainey, Amy Schumer character, she goes sees Megan.
Mm-hmm.
They hit it off, thanks for sticking up with me. Hey, we should hang out. Boom, and oh my god, I'm pregnant. Then, well, yeah. Now she
But
has to
guys,
pretend she's
even
pregnant the whole
before
movie.
that, even before the prenatal, if you're asking yourself, but what made Amy Schumer go to that class and act pregnant? She was shopping at a baby store with her best friend Kate, who's played by Jillian Bell, at a like a baby store or whatever for mothers expecting. And Jillian Bell, which is Kate in the movie, sees a shirt. She's like, "Man, I love this." And Amy Schumer feels some type of way how to see like Kate's excitement of trying on pregnancy clothes and stuff like that. And then she kind of has like a moment where she's sad. Kate goes to the back to try on the clothes, and then Amy Schumer is like, I mean, Lainey in the movie, she's like, let me try this on. And then she sees they have like the little fake bumps that they use for women like who are not far along to try on clothes or whatever. She uses that in the dressing room, and then the lady in the dressing room comes in and she realizes she's getting attention as a pregnant woman and she likes the feeling. So that's what sets it off into her saying, maybe I should pretend to be pregnant.
Yeah. So basically, so how do you think the storyline was? Was the storyline goofy? Was it like what do you think it was? I think it was too goofy. I think it was like just right, just a
I
comedian.
honestly really like the storyline. One, because it's different. Two, because to be honest, and this is why Jax probably doesn't know about this, I know a lot of women who have had the same feelings as Amy Schumer in the movie, aka Lainey Newton in the movie, who have wanted a family so desperately that and maybe felt left out, especially in their 30s and their 40s trying to figure it out in this new generation, that I've never met anybody who pretended to be pregnant, but I think it's funny that she's playing off of like that age group, that population, that feeling. She's making like a joke about like inner deeper thoughts that women think that maybe they don't talk about and they're embarrassed about, and she makes it come to life in the movie in a funny way. And I've never seen that get done. I've seen a lot of pregnant movies and stuff like that, but this one was funny. I've never seen one of somebody pretending to be pregnant. Have you seen a movie where somebody pretended to be pregnant for that long?
Um, I'm not sure, not off the bat, but yeah, I think to me, I think the storyline was goofy. I feel like she had a lot of chances to tell
Mm-hmm.
her friends that she wasn't pregnant. It wasn't a big deal. I feel like she carried that throughout the whole movie, and she really didn't have to, deal with that stress. But as me, I watch movies all the time. I'm very critical, especially with comedy movies. I love comedy movies, but at the end of the day, it was very funny, and that's the point. It's to be goofy. That's the goofiness of the storyline. So I feel like Netflix kind of rushed their movies. I feel like if they put more thought into the actual scripts and things, they can have 10 plus movies with the type of comedians and the type of actors and actresses that they actually book for these roles. I feel like if they actually I feel like it's like a microwave movie. They're not letting the ingredients sit in. I feel like they can do better scripts, better scenes and things like that. But then again, I'm being critical. But at the end of the day, it was a good movie,
Yeah,
good
I
storyline.
kind of like disagree with him on that because I know what he's talking about. There's like Netflix type of movies that okay, you go to the theater and you could be like, okay, this was like a Netflix type of movie. For example, that movie we saw, Flight Risk. Jax thought that could have been a Netflix movie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really think this Amy Schumer movie could have been in the theater, and it would have done very, very well. Because I want to talk about something that is very, very like relevant. Back in the day, I don't know if you remember, Jax, because growing up, I used to go to the movies a lot with my parents and my family, and I know Jax did too. So that's why we have a love of movies. Have you noticed? We talked about this on one of them days. You don't see too much rom coms or even like feel good comedy movies in theaters like back in the day, like back in the 2000s or even in the in the early 2000s, late, mid 2000s, like back in the day. It's in 2025, you don't really see it. So I feel like this Amy Schumer movie, it should have been in theaters and it would have made me feel like I was back in the 2000s going to see a rom com with my family. How do you feel about that? I feel like 2025, this generation, they don't put out too much of those types of movies like in the 2000s, how you would go with your family to watch. I like, for instance, I saw Because I Said So, that Mandy Moore movie that was super popular, uh, in theaters. That's a rom com. It's now on, I think, Amazon Prime or one of these streaming devices. And I remember the feeling of seeing that in theaters and laughing, and or even How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like those classic rom com funny movies, Made in Manhattan by Jennifer Lopez. Those were good to see in theaters. Amy Schumer, she could have put that in theaters. How do you feel about that, Jax? About this generation not putting those type of movies out in theaters?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by just this generation, but I guess the movie generation, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, nah, I mean, Netflix and streaming sites are the it's the future. So a lot of people don't go to the movies anymore. So for certain movies, I feel like if it doesn't have like crazy scenes, intense sound effects, and things like that, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the movie.
that's true.
Um, that movie didn't have a lot of like crazy sound effects or explosions and nothing like that. Like I feel like certain movies now, if it's a not I won't say a basic type of movie, but if it's like a movie like a rom com where there's not like explosions, bombs blowing off, fights everywhere, things like that. I believe like those movies cater more to the streaming sites like a Amazon, a Peacock, a Netflix. But I just feel like the movies that come on streaming sites, I wouldn't say the actors or actresses don't take the role serious. I would just say the scripts seem like they're a lot of times they're like rushed. Like it seems like they shot the movie in probably like 2 weeks or a week or something like that instead of like a 3 month set. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but I think like, I guess the main emphasis that I want to point out here, and this is a question I'm going to ask you. Do you feel like the genre rom com is out of style in theaters? Do you think it's, they're putting it out more on these streaming sites now
Yeah, I mean,
because it's out of style? So you're kind of emphasizing that action and thriller and war movies and other genres sell more than rom
yeah,
com.
like Marvel,
So you're so
DC,
so yeah,
action.
that's my question to you. Do you think that rom com is out of style?
I mean, no, because females, women are always they're gonna always flock towards those kind of movies. But I believe those kind of movies are out of style for the movie theater when it's Netflix streaming sites available. When you can just sit here. There's nothing different, but I guess the atmosphere or like the popcorn or the ride to the movies or like the actual date of going to the movies or hanging out with your friends in the movies or with your parents. The actual feeling of the movie is probably the I guess the atmosphere makes it
Yeah, so you're
better, but rom coms like I don't feel like they needs to go in the movie. I feel like it's perfect at home. Like there's nothing big there. There's no explosions. No, it's good. It's great for this generation. This generation would love to just sit on the couch and watch a rom com movie.
well, I don't think it's well. You mentioned a point before you made this last point during that summary that you were just giving. You said something that I want to focus on, which is not it's not that rom-com that genre is out of style, because women are probably one of the most biggest audiences in everything, right? That support watch these movies and make the numbers go up. You're saying more, it's not about the genre, it's just all these streaming services are kind of taking over the industry.
Well, I'm saying the rom coms fit screaming more than the like. Let's say for instance, if Superman comes out, that's something you want to watch in the theaters because you have the sound effects, the explosions, the actual big screen pops
Mm-hmm.
out more. When you're watching a rom com, there's not those type of scenes. There's not like the money is not put towards making you feel at the edge of your seats. It's more calm, chilling. You're into the script, and like say for instance, if you're on a if you decide to stay in on a Saturday night with your partner, with your friends, with your parents or whatever, have a bowl of popcorn, some soda, juice or whatever. You sit on the couch, light a candle, boom, rom com. That's perfect for just sitting and having a nice family screaming night.
Okay,
You
I
get
get
what I'm
what you're.
saying? Like I feel like it fits this. I feel like it fits Netflix perfect. And then you got to think about it. These people are getting paid millions of dollars for these movies. These movies aren't like low budgeted. I just think their scripts are rushed. You know what I mean? I feel like the script writers can do more. They could give me more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, like the Eddie Murphy movies, like
Mm-hmm.
the movies, like they just, what I'm saying, the reboots and everything just seems like they spit it out too fast. But I loved Amy Schumer like in this movie. Like 7.5 is high for me, especially not being a woman, and this is like a feminine rom com comedy, type thing.
Guys, it was
It was a good movie.
hilarious. I loved it. I get what Jax is saying on his point that rom-com doesn't sell as well as, like, Marvel movies in theaters. But being a woman, and I know you guys can feel me, I love streaming services. I love watching it from home, but I wouldn't mind going into the movie and watching it.
Yeah.
Just how that Sydney Swidney movie was a rom com that I was in theaters, and it did pretty well too. So,
You in this movie, who was the hero to you? First, let's start off with the hero. Who was the hero to you in this movie?
the hero. That's a very good question. Um, I think the hero in this movie was Amy Schumer's best friend, Kate, because she showed throughout the whole entire movie her support. And when she found out what Amy Schumer was doing and had that little talk with her after, like, right after her baby shower scene, when people realize that she's really not pregnant, she says, why didn't you tell me? I didn't know that you were feeling this lonely. I didn't know that you felt left out. Like, this could have all been avoided. Like, you didn't have to do this big lie. And so it was that conversation, her best friend kind of like slapping her in the head, figuratively, right? Like, if you tell me, I can help you. You didn't have to do all of this for attention. So I think her best friend Kate was the hero in this movie. She snapped her back into her senses on various occasions.
Good. If I had to say the hero, it might have been Megan, the friend that she met at the yoga class, just because Megan was her support system when she felt left out. Well, Lainey's support system, Amy Schumer's character. Megan was her support system when she felt left out with her best friend. So she literally carried a big portion of the movie the big portion of the storyline because from her, Amy Schumer met the guy she met from the coffee shop again, her brother who was living in her garage, Megan's garage. So Amy Schumer's character meets the friend, meets the friend's brother at I guess the get together at her home.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I'm trying to say is to sum it up, Megan basically her character is what bridges Lainey's character to the boyfriend, which bridges the pregnancy reveal that Lainey's not pregnant with the best friend's Kate because Lainey goes to I guess Megan's no, Lainey goes to the villain I think of the movie. What's her name? The villain?
The villain in
The
the
villain
movie
movie is
that is,
Shirley. So Megan goes to Shirley's baby shower, and Shirley ends up being friends with Megan, and then basically Megan is the reason why the lady character is, I guess, active throughout the movie. That's what I'm trying to say. What do you think about that? Can you say it better?
yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Uh, in that case, do you think the villain was Shirley, or who do you think
Yeah.
that's who
So
you think the
the
villain
villain
was?
was Shirley. Shirley set up everything to like sabotage Lainey. But Shirley was friends with what, Megan? How
She
did Megan and Shirley,
because
why were they at the baby shower?
Shirley overheard Lainey having a conversation with the other school teacher who knew that
Yeah.
she was lying to
But how do they
everybody.
know Megan? How do Megan know Shirley?
She invited her.
Yeah,
She
but how does she
invited her
know
to the
her?
party. What do you mean? How does she know? Because remember, they did that free mom class, that yoga class at the school.
Yeah, so Shirley was there?
Yeah, no. Uh, the lady who plays Megan was there at the school for that yoga class, and she met Shirley in that class as well.
Okay, yeah, so Shirley and Megan were friends. So,
Not friends, they just met at each other.
but she invited her to the baby shower.
Yeah, but you saw how many people were there. She invited everybody.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I'm saying, so throughout the whole process, Megan's character reveals a lot about Lady's character. So through Megan, Lady finds her love interest, Megan's brother, who's living in the garage, and then through Megan, Lady has to keep pretending that she's pregnant. So that keeps the comedy scenes rolling throughout the movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Megan ends up being there for Lainey once everybody finds out she's pregnant. And when Lainey goes to apologize to Megan, she runs into her love interest again, and they ended up I guess getting back together, and everything happens throughout Megan, and that's why I say she's the hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to me, the villain, it was Kate. Not
Kate.
Kate, sorry, Lainey, which plays.
Lainey's the villain, Amy Schumer?
Yeah, I think she was her own
That's
villain.
crazy. I think you would say that.
I think she's the villain because she made up this lie and she kept going with it just because she didn't have the heart to tell the truth until the very last minute.
She also was jealous too, I guess, too, right?
And
Of Kate, she was jealous of Kate.
She tricked all these people that loved her and supported her. She even tricked herself into thinking that if she wasn't her authentic, true self, that nobody would accept her and love her, which it wasn't true. She convinced herself of that. So she was a villain to herself and to everybody else.
Well, I would say Shirley was the villain. That's her name, right? Shirley.
I feel
Shirley,
like
the
if it
friend.
wasn't for Shirley, Amy Schumer, who knows how long she would have continued to lie.
Yeah. Well,
think about that.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know because Shirley was such a villain towards Amy Schumer, the main character, lady. I just feel like she was mean throughout the movie. She was trying to set up Amy Schumer. She was the reason why Amy and Kate was I guess separating throughout the movie. So I don't know. I feel like Shirley was definitely the villain in the movie.
I get what you're saying.
Thank you for tuning into the Even So podcast. I'm Jack.
And I'm Lola.
Please like and subscribe. Let us know who you guys think the hero was, the villain, how you guys like the storyline, what you guys think we should improve on, what you guys want to see us reviewing. And then again, this was a movie review for Kind of Pregnant on Netflix.
Stay safe.